Good evening, everybody. We'd like to go ahead and get this meeting going. Thank you for joining us for our City Council meeting this morning. We are going to begin with an invocation and a Pledge of Allegiance. Councilmember Beck will lead us in the invocation. Afterwards, Councilmember Jones will lead us in the pledge.
Our dear Father in heaven, we're grateful for this opportunity we have to meet together as a council, staff, and mayor and community and discuss matters important to us, important to thee. We're grateful for all the blessings that we receive from thee and where we live and for the beauty of the beauty all around us. Please bless us with wisdom and guidance and understanding. We love thee very much when we say these things in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen. Amen.
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everybody. We've got a unique and full agenda for this evening, but the very first agenda item on the docket is to administer the oath of office to our newly elected officials. Myself, Mayor Theron Garrett, Councilmember elect Casey Beck, and Councilmember Jake Lake. We will turn the time over to Camille to lead those oath of offices, and we are going to do that right up here in the front of the dais. Just so you know, once the oaths of office are finished, we're going to take a little bit of a 5 or 10 minute break to allow family members to come up and take pictures, and then we'll rejoin the meeting right after that. So please have patience with us. Camille.
We will have Mayor Eric come down. You guys can stay put. And
Oh yeah, sorry. We're going to do these individually and then do pictures after each one or after the whole thing. Yeah. And then do pictures after each one or after the whole thing. Yeah. And then do pictures after each one or after.
support, obey, and defend the Constitution of the
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support, obey, and defend
that I will support, obey, and defend
the Constitution of the United
the
States
Constitution of the United
that I will
States,
support, obey, and defend
I will support, obey, and defend
the laws and ordinances of the laws and
the laws and I, Jake Blake,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support, obey, and defend
support, obey, and defend
the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of
the
Utah,
Constitution of the State of Utah,
and the laws and ordinances of Napleton City,
and the laws and ordinances of Napleton City,
and that I will discharge the duties
and will discharge the duties
of my office
of my office
with fidelity.
with fidelity.
Okay, you know the drill. Say it.
Okay, we still got a few more minutes. You guys still want to take a break, run to the bathroom or anything? We want to take a few minutes to move the podium.
Put your camera in order.
I'll just note that if you're only here for the swearing in, that's the end of the swearing in. So if you don't want to sit through the rest of the boring meeting, then you're welcome to head out. No hurt feelings. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to our next item. As I was just sworn in as mayor, that automatically leaves a vacancy on our city council. State code dictates that we fill that vacancy through a certain particular procedure. And we're going to, next on the agenda is for us to go through that procedure to seat this, to seat that open vacancy on the city council. That we have had 6 people apply, or we have 6 people who have applied for this position, and we've received their resumes and their applications a few weeks ago, and the current remaining city council members, these 4, have had time to review those and look through them. So for tonight, what is next is the city council will now interview these applicants individually right here in the public meeting, and then they will cast a vote for who they want to vote for filling this vacant seat. So that's the procedure, and we're going to proceed with that procedure. I will be conducting the procedure of the interviews and the voting. But just as a note, John Higgins was originally applied, but he's withdrawn officially his application, and we have Jean Marie, who is one of the applicants, but is out of town. So she is joining us via remote Teams, Google Teams, yeah, not Zoom. Just to make sure, Jean Marie, can you hear us? She's muted, okay.
Mr. Mayor, I had signed up to make some comments in the citizen forum.
Yes, unfortunately, that we're going to do the forum after the vote. The voting is before the forum on the agenda.
My comments directly address the selection of a new city council member. I would really appreciate it if I could make those comments now.
How long is your prepared remarks?
2/3 of the page.
What is yeah, the council has all received your email previously, right?
Okay. Well, yeah.
Sorry, we're gonna proceed with just voting in the next person, if that's okay. Okay, so here's how it's gonna work. We're gonna call up each individual applicant one at a time. That each applicant will have 2 minutes to do an opening remarks, an introduction. Then we will ask each applicant 3 separate questions, and each of the applicants were sent these questions ahead of time so that they have some time to prepare. Is that right? Did you guys all get the questions? Okay, good. And then after, we're going to ask the question and give you 2 minutes to ask the question, then go on to the next question. And then after the 3 questions, then we will allow the city council members to ask any follow-up questions at that time. Then we'll move on to the next applicant. And then after all the questions and interview questions are done, then each candidate applicant will have 1 to 2 minutes for closing remarks. Does anybody have any questions?
We only have 30 seconds left.
Oh, okay, Camille's going to be the timekeeper, so keep an eye on her. She's got a yellow card for 30 seconds remaining and a red card for your time is up. Okay, any questions about that? Okay, we're going to start in the ballot order with Melanie Bott. So come on up, go ahead and start your introductions.
All right, thank you for letting me be here this evening. So my name is Melanie Bott. I had the privilege of running for city council in the election. Had the opportunity to meet with many of you and work closely with the staff and meet a lot of the residents. I'm grateful to be able to be here. A lot of my experience comes from my position as president and CEO of the Springville Mapleton Chamber of Commerce, where I've been able to interact with the community members, with the city staff, with council, along with our leaders in our state and county levels. And so I've been able to build a great network. I also have the opportunity to be the chair of the community Preparedness Committee and be able to work with our residents to bring resilience and help them be prepared. I'm also on the Planning Commission. And so with these experiences, I've been able to understand and see how the ins and outs work in the city and be a part of that. So I'm coming with the knowledge behind all of that. I am not just a resident of Mapleton. I am someone who is here to serve and to give back, and I appreciate this opportunity to be here, to be an option.
Thank you, Melanie. Okay, the first question is, what makes you uniquely qualified to serve on the council?
I'll just go back to my experiences. I think that brings a very unique opportunity that I'm ready to get moving. I'm not going to start with having to learn from the beginning. I understand how city council works. I understand how the city works. I have relationships with council members, staff, community members. I also have a great network outside of our community. It's important to have those connections to help bring in information that we may not know. As council members, we're each on committees, and so it's important to have the connections to be able to know who to reach out to for answers and to support us.
Thank you very much. Second question, what would your top priorities be as a council member?
My top priority would be the growth, and I really focus on our Highway 89. Right now, we want to really focus on smart growth. We want to be able to bring in the needs of our community and not wait for businesses to come in and decide they want to be here. We want to bring in things that will that our residents want, that our community wants, that's going to help preserve our feel of Mapleton. We don't want to have big businesses. We don't want to grow in a direction that down the line we're like, what did we do? We made a mistake. And having the experience of working with the surrounding cities and being able to see how they've grown, we're fresh with our businesses coming in. And so having that knowledge, I think, is a great opportunity to bring to the board.
Great, thank you. The third question is, identify one problem or issue that you've seen in town that is important to you, and what would you do to resolve it?
I think it goes right back to the economic growth. We don't want to have a lot of businesses, but we do want to have things that are going to meet our needs. I know there's been work and research done for, say, a grocery store, and now we have Harmon's coming in Spanish Fork, and so now what are we going to bring to our community that our citizens want here that's going to benefit us? And so putting in the legwork, doing the research, finding those unique opportunities for that business. I know that we don't want to rely on the revenue from or the tax base from our businesses. That's not who we are. And so looking for the other revenue resources to help our city thrive, to help keep the taxes low for our citizens.
Okay, thank you. Any follow-up questions from the council?
Is it harder to be grilled this time or previously while you're running?
It gets a little bit easier each time, but it's still very stressful.
I appreciate what you said about smart growth, and how would you apply that to developments and what type of developments we want to bring into Mapleton?
As like for housing
For housing,
or for housing. I love the feel of Harvest Park, for example. We, as a community, as a city, there are laws that we have to follow if we want federal funds. I mean, our Utah funds. And so, but there's a way that we can guide the growth that will fit our community, and that's, if we have to have so many numbers. I want to do the research, and I haven't done that yet. Where are we at percentage-wise of the high density that we're required? And what can we do to adjust that to meet the fill and the ruralness of our community?
Thank you.
Melanie, you mentioned the need for alternative revenue sources in our city, that we can't be wholly reliant on business revenue. Do you have any ideas or things that we might explore in our city?
Well, something that's been done is a lot of you, all of you, have put a lot of work and research into, you've done the fiber and now you're looking into power. And so being aware of that and familiar and being a part of that already keeps the momentum going. And that's one of the reasons why I ran, is because the work has been done, the research has been done, so let's continue that momentum. We don't want to just stop and then reassess 5 years and miss out. And so I want to continue to be a part of that, to research and to see if that's something that our community needs.
Thank you.
No further questions. Okay, thank you, Melanie,
Thanks.
appreciate it. Next up is Kevin Corden.
Okay, before you start the timer, I have to say I'm grateful to see a Seahawk jersey in the audience, even though it was your son. And Jake, I'd love to talk to you about your last name, because my father's middle name was Lake. So he's got a lake somewhere back there. So, good evening, Mr. Mayor and future fellow members of the City Council. My name's Kevin Gordon. This is more stressful than doing a Microsoft presentation to thousands of people, I have to tell you. I'm a father, a grandfather, brother, and oldest son. Born and raised in Seattle, my wife and I moved to Utah 30 years ago when she had to get out of the Northwest. We lived in Sandy and then up in Suncrest. Shortly after my wife died, I sold the house and I moved south to be closer to my mother-in-law, who's now gone. I ended up in Mapleton. I'm still not sure why I ended up here, but I love it here. That was 6 years ago, and I moved into a new development, so I know about growth. I was one of the causes of that growth. The back fence used to be a pasture that had 2 horses in that my dogs loved. That's now a home of a family that I really like, but I still miss those horses. I'm active in my church, and I live by those teachings that I've learned growing up: honesty, integrity, doing good in all things. After my father passed away at 59, I became the oldest male figure in the family. So whenever my sisters or my younger brothers wanted a blessing or they wanted something else, they would call me. So I've learned over the years how to provide service to my family and others. I'm currently retired. I substitute teach. You'll have to pardon my voice. I've been doing elementary PE this week. They don't really listen very well, so I've had to use my voice a lot. I'm an avid cyclist and a dog owner, and I think it's important that we do keep those things in place for others. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. First question, what makes you uniquely qualified to serve on the council?
Oh, I have so many responses to that I wrote out and scratched out. So I've worked since high school at a variety of places in all kinds of roles, from working at Cutting Saw to serving as a vice president. I served 8 years in the Air Force and learned about leadership, accountability, and taking care of those I'm responsible for. After the Air Force, I worked for 40 years in a variety of industries, mostly in the cruise business, with roles focused mainly on information technology. I managed multi-million-dollar projects and saved money by simply asking thoughtful questions of suppliers and contractors. My many years of working in various industries, being a contractor and someone who has hired contractors, gives me a perspective that others may not have. I've been on both sides of the discussion. I know from a contractor perspective and a perspective of awarding a contract that if we work together, we win. Everybody wins, but you have to have a partnership to enable that to work. I've worked with corporate attorneys, managers responsible for billion-dollar cruise ship builds, CEOs, from regular line workers all the way up to company owners.
Great, thank you so much. Second question, what would your top priorities be as a city council member?
So I kind of have a couple. One is the safety and security of our residents. Just below that would be to keep Mapleton affordable, walkable, rideable, and trying to prevent the city from becoming a wall-to-wall spread of homes. We need open spaces. We need businesses. We need high-density housing. We need less expensive housing. We need to manage our growth so that we don't force the people living here out, and we bring in all levels of economic abilities. So we should have homes that somebody making a teacher can afford, as well as business owners. And I'm not sure that we have that right now. And that's one of the things that I think that we need to work on.
Okay. Third question, identify one problem that you've seen that is important to you, and how would you handle it?
Okay, as I said, I'm an avid cyclist. I think we need to improve and keep building ways for cyclists, pedestrians, dog walkers, baby carriage walkers, able to walk around the city. Right now, I walked here from my house, and I had to wait minutes for an opening in traffic. There's no crosswalks, there's no lights. I just have to dodge traffic. And I walk my dogs past here multiple times a week. If you see me with two boxers, I'm walking. For me to get across the road is difficult sometimes. I will stand there with my dogs, waiting and waiting and waiting because of traffic, and no ability to cross the road unless I go a half a mile down that way or a half a mile down that way, which I don't think makes for a very walkable city. If I had my dream, I would turn Main Street into Venice, not Venice, but a city in Italy, where we have shops on the ground floor, homes above, not cheap apartments, but homes, where people can get out of their house, walk down the stairs, go shopping, go to the barber, go grocery store, talk to their neighbors. I'd love to see a piazza-type place where everybody can go and gather together and talk and walk and shop and look and just have fun. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Any questions, follow-up questions from the council?
I forgot, how long have you lived in Mapleton?
6 years.
Were you part of the Master Trails Plan? So a couple years ago, we developed the Master Trails Plan. I don't know if you were a part of that process or if you had
No.
feedback. Okay. There's a lot of trails that are for cyclists, and so I was curious if you had feedback on that. More of a road biker or mountain biker?
Road and gravel.
Okay.
I gave up mountain biking when I left Suncrest.
I don't have a question. I would just encourage you to look at the Master Trails Plan and give us feedback, because we're always looking for that.
I've looked at it. One of my big things is connecting Mapleton Trail to Spanish Fork Trail System, and then finding a way to connect on the other end to wherever we go there.
It's on its way to Spanish Fork. That connection to Spanish Fork will be made. That's in process right now.
Yeah, when?
Well, sooner than later. Money has been allocated for that from the state.
Has it?
Yep.
That's part of that.
Last time I was at a city council meeting, I was told that we were waiting on the railroad right away.
Well, I think they're in the design. Are they designing it now?
I love that.
They are. They are designing it, and they are waiting on the railroad to figure out how they can get past the railroad, yeah.
Yeah, how to get over or under, yeah.
It is under design. They are moving forward.
Great, I love it. Let's hope it happens before I'm too old to ride. 20 years.
I've got a question. First of all, as the daughter of a retired Air Force Lieutenant Colonel, thank you for your service. I appreciate that. I loved your point about asking thoughtful questions. I fundamentally believe that we would be in a better position as a country and as a world if citizens were more engaged in asking those thoughtful questions. So I'd love to learn a little bit more about who you are by understanding what questions would you have of this group that maybe you haven't had the chance to. And I'm not looking for a Q&A session here. I'm looking for what thoughtful questions might you have that will give us some insights into who you are.
Okay, thank you. Number one, I looked through the agenda for the city council meeting and I came up with a couple of questions. One of the points on here is to put in a four-way stop at 1200 in Main. I agree with that. My question is that premature? Where's the traffic coming from? Is it a constant traffic flow, or is it specific times? Is it from the school? Or is it just general traffic? I drive that way, and it looks like most of the traffic is going to and from school whenever I go by. So are there other ways to address that than putting up a four-way stop that impedes traffic for those times where there's no traffic? Okay? The other one that I looked at in here was the disposal of unclaimed property. It says in here that we're going to run an ad in the local newspaper. What's our local newspaper and how many people in this city subscribe to that paper? So we should include social media on that of unclaimed property. Put it on Facebook, but not just Facebook, because according to my daughter, Facebook is for old people. She's in her 30s. We should be putting it on X, TikTok, wherever, but we should manage our social media channels as well as newspapers. Did that answer your questions?
Yeah, thank you, that was helpful.
And I spent 3 years I spent a year in Wynot, Minot, and only she would know that, Minot, North Dakota. I spent 3 years in England, and then I spent 3 years in Texas. So, pardon me if I offend anybody, I am a SAC-trained killer. SAC was Strategic Air Command. That was the first base I went to. They were the largest, if North Dakota had seceded from the Union, they would have been the largest, third largest nuclear country in the world. So that was the environment. Sorry to take so long.
Thank you, that's great.
Yeah, you're welcome. Anything else?
You talked a lot about connectivity, open space, and growth, and mixed-use developments, and low-income housing, and affordability housing. What would be the criteria as a councilman in the city and the staff that we would use to be able to know where and when to approve these type of units?
Well, I think it's up to the city council and the rest of the city to work with developers. We've got to become partners so that our vision and their vision coincide. So, my opinion, if you built a tiny home village, they've done that in Seattle in a couple of places, or outside of Seattle. So they've got these one-bedroom, two-bedroom, small homes. They don't have a big yard, but they're full, and they go like hotcakes. I don't think we have anything like that here. Is there anything on the roadmap for that? Have we talked to developers about, okay, if you're going to build a $2 million home, 7,000 square feet, I want you to chip in, put part of that to building a tiny home community so that we've got more affordable housing. What happens when somebody who's been here 30 years is priced out of their home because of property taxes or because of just home values? They've got to move. That house is usually torn down, and we've got a huge house put up in its place, which I think destroys the feel of Mapleton partially. And it forces people out who have been here for a long time.
Okay, any other questions? Okay, thank you
Thanks, Kevin.
so much, Kevin.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it. Our next applicant is AJ Rounds. Come on up, AJ.
All right, thank you for having me here. It's so good to see your smiling faces, all of you, the city administration as well. And kudos, campaigning and running for office, it is not a fun thing. So well done, Jake and Mayor Garrett and Casey. I mean, this is cool. I did it a couple years ago. I don't think I ever want to do it again. This is a much better process right here. So let's get into it. A lot of you know me, and again, thanks for all of you who are here watching this process. And Kevin, I have been to Wynot, Minot as well in my oil and gas days, and there's not a lot there. So why not Minot, right? Let's not become like that city for sure. I've been a resident of Mapleton for 14 years, and my desire to serve comes with no personal agenda. There's no conflicts of interest, right? I just want to support and help Mapleton be a great place to live, which has been great for me and my family. I'm a father, I'm a business owner, I'm a husband that's good about 50% of the time. That's debatable depending on what my wife Emily says. but I try, right? And that's most important to me. And I think that's what's most important to most of the residents here in Mapleton is those familiar relationships, their neighbors, their friends. And what I would hope to bring to the council is the ability, I love to talk to people. Jessica knows this, I can talk forever, and I get to know people on a deeper level. I would love to find out, as things change in Mapleton, what is the concerns, or how does the sentiment change for what people want from Mapleton going forward? Okay, Camille says I better hurry, so let me just pull this back up here. I feel privileged to be considered as part of the council. I respect the decisions that have been made and the things that are in motion already. I think sometimes those things are discounted, and a lot of work and time has gone into those things. So I would love to support those additional things. And professionally, I have a background, of course, in business and funding and financial decision-making. I own a business here in Mapleton, and I support multiple people and their livelihoods. We have several employees that live here in Mapleton, but I would just love to be part of this process and this council. Thank you.
Thanks, AJ. First
Yep.
question, what makes you uniquely qualified to be on the council?
I said a couple things. So I've owned several businesses. I would love to see, commerce, a robust commerce community here in Mapleton. I know that doesn't solve all of our problems with property taxes, which is why I love what's been done with the utility initiative and hopefully a water initiative that's coming down the pipeline and the internet initiative. Fantastic, because I think those are ways we're going to fund our city and prevent our property taxes from eking up every single year. So I think I would be helpful in those kind of negotiations and bringing about some business mind for that.
Okay, what would be your top priorities?
There are so many, but I think supporting what's been done, finding out from the residents what else they would like to see happen with their city. I am concerned as a citizen living on one of the busier roads in Mapleton about some of the safety, not public safety, because I think, Chief Jackson and Chief Glasgow have done a fantastic job that way, but I think that we could look at some ways outside the box to help with walkability in our city on some of those really busy highways. And I would love to dive into the state to see how we can help solve that problem. I know those are state-funded roads, so that's important to me.
Okay, identify one problem that you're interested in or has piqued your attention, and let us know how you would solve that.
Yeah, I think I'm kind of meshing some of these together, aren't I? So again, with the public safety on the roads, they're country roads now, but they're quickly not becoming country roads. I would like to see how we can make those more safe for walkability. From a personal note, having lost someone very near and dear to me, my father, to a distracted driver on one of the country roads like Mapleton, not in Mapleton, in another city, but I would love to see our kids and bikers and joggers and dog walkers and all those people that are walking the roads of Mapleton feel like they don't have to dodge traffic as they're walking down the streets.
Great.
And how I would do that, I guess I should answer that second part. I think there's lots of ways to explore how to, I know funding is an issue. I know we can look for funding in certain ways. I know that there's a plan, a sidewalk plan, which I've reviewed, and I think it's fantastic. I just wonder if there's other ways outside the box that we haven't thought of, maybe that we can put our minds together, together with some of the citizens, to see if there's ways we can solve some of these issues together.
Okay, great. Any follow-up questions?
Come on, you guys, hit me. I'm not afraid. Let's go.
You answered them.
We know you.
I know, that's the problem. This is kind of cheating, right?
Could be good or bad for you.
I know, right? For good or for bad. And I'm sorry if it's for bad.
All right.
Well, maybe the follow-up question would be, I mean, since we've gone through this, you're known.
Maybe the follow-up.
Oh, it's me again, dang it.
Ooh, from on high.
What else would you want us to know? Perhaps there's a secondary priority, a secondary area of interest. We wouldn't want you to have less or more of an opportunity because you're a known quantity. So perhaps there's a nugget that
Sure.
that you're passionate about that maybe is unfamiliar or didn't even emerge a couple of years ago.
Sure.
When you went through the
This whole
loft
process? Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
What else?
I mean, I love the the mountain bike park that's coming out. Oh, it's going to be so great, right? More of those in Mapleton is better than less, right? So let's see if we can't get more of those in the works, right? Or those type of parks. Kevin and I think Melanie said this too, affordable housing, oh, so critical. I mean, our kids are getting older, breaks my heart. I'm still crying every day from our oldest that left recently. And they are going to have such a hard time getting into Mapleton because there's just not a lot of options for affordable housing. It's getting better on the south side of town, but can we be more creative in how we make affordable housing options for Mapleton? We're doing it in the Midwest. Let's see if we can do it here.
Do you think a skate park would be better as part of the mountain bike park or a separate park?
Yes
That
and
was
yes and
loaded.
yes.
Nice, Casey.
All of the above. Thanks, Casey.
Okay.
Do you want to elaborate on your expertise related to the Midwest?
Yeah, we raised many millions of dollars to build affordable housing in Iowa, Missouri, and Kentucky, over 1,500 units. And we have the developers in place that are going to be amazing, that are doing it at scale so they can do it much cheaper, okay? We have the investors that are very much on board so that they will get a nice return. The whole time is between 8 to 10 years. But the key component in that whole process was the cities were on board. And not only did they say, we need affordable housing, because every city in Utah is going to say that. And they have, and they continue to say that, right? But the difference in Iowa, Kentucky, and Missouri is that they're like, and what do you need from us to make it happen? Do you need us to find some land that's below retail price? Can we remove all restrictions for you? How can we help you? And the cities have been partners in this process. It's amazing. If the rest of the states in the union could pick up on this, we would have the affordable housing problem solved.
Thanks.
Question for you.
Sure.
Two-part question. So
Yeah.
what does affordable housing look like to you here in Mapleton? And what do you say to those who say, I'm all for affordable housing, just not in Mapleton?
Ooh, great question. Okay, well, there is a place, for everything, so it has to be placed correctly, affordable housing. What that looks like to me is, I don't know if more dense housing equals affordable housing in my mind, right? I think what affordable housing means is a really nice, well-built home, 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath, 2-car garage with a little yard that you can take care of front and back. And that's what we're doing in the Midwest. And that's what that looks like to me, which I think there are spaces in Mapleton for that. There are, of course, I'm a huge fan of property rights. And I want to make sure that we're sensitive to those that own property and around, that we do it in the right way. But affordable housing to me, I think means we have a lot of townhome style affordable housing going in. I think it means let's get some more starter housing in Mapleton and find the appropriate places to do that.
Thank you.
All right, that was, come on you guys, harder.
That ended up tougher than it
Oh,
started
okay,
out.
okay. Thank you so much. Is that it?
Thanks, AJ.
Awesome.
Appreciate it. Okay, next up is Jean Marie Anderson. Are we queued up for her online?
Okay, can you guys hear me?
We can hear you. Can you hear us, Jean Marie?
Yes, I can.
Great. Thank you for joining us. Have you
Oh,
been able
thank
to hear the other applicants
Yes,
and their
I
questions?
have.
Okay, good.
I have.
So go ahead and start your 2-minute intro.
Okay, my name is Jean Marie Anderson. Thank you, Mayor and members of the council, for your time to speak with me tonight and accommodating me. I grew up in a civic-minded home and was taught to serve my community by word and example. As a young child, I went door to door campaigning for my father as he ran for state senate. As a young adult, I served as a senatorial page for the state of Utah. While I have served my community in various ways, I have also had a deep love for Mapleton and its people. As a small child, I spent countless summers on my Whiting cousins' orchards in Mapleton farm, picking cherries, shucking corn, and milking the cow. But the highlight of these summers were always attending the 24th of July celebration. My first teaching job was at Mapleton School, where I grew up to love and serve the children and parents in this community. In turn, this community served me in the greatest time of need. I've been a personal witness to how Mapleton City pulls together for one of its own. For example, when my husband had a debilitating accident and then I lost him 5 years later, noting that he is now buried in the beautiful Mapleton Cemetery, I am well prepared and would love nothing more than to serve with my knowledge and experience. I have lived and worked in this community for 22 years, and as an elementary school educator, I feel it sets me apart from the other candidates. It gives me a unique perspective as I help shape the children of Mapleton who will one day lead. My time in the classroom has taught me to be a professional mediator, effective manager, and balance competing needs of individuals with that of the whole group. I feel these are skills that are crucial to guide me to work on the City Council. Others may see maps and parcels of land. I see neighborhoods where my students play in the streets, where I hope they will choose to raise their families. My vision is to preserve the small town life that we all cherish, while being smart and proactive about our future. My commitment is to bring the same transparency and dedication to the City Council that I bring to my teaching every day. I would be honored to serve the community. Thank you.
Thank you, Jean Marie. We'll begin with the questions. Camille, is it possible to stretch that window open a little bit?
Right.
Oh, okay. No worries.
Not getting bigger. Oh, there we go.
Hey, that's awesome. Good. Thank you. Okay. What makes you uniquely qualified to serve on the council?
I feel that my years of teaching, I also taught at Maple Ridge, and I feel like my years of teaching in this community and also as an educator, but working especially with these parents in this community and getting to know this community in a rich way brings me a lot of unique abilities to reach the community, and I've had a deep love for this community and its people, and that sets me apart. I have a one-on-one with a lot of the community in this, and I've lived here for a long time, and I've grown up at being a part of this community. And I also feel like my capabilities, I have my master's degree in admin, and I feel like I have a capability to collaborate and make decisions and to work with people well.
Okay, great. What would be your top priorities as a council member?
Some of my top priorities are to maintain the small town feel, to keep a balanced, smart growth with the density, and to keep the public lands and open space with the trails. I echo what has been stated before, to keep a walkable community.
Okay, thank you very much. Third question, identify one problem or issue that is important to you, and how would you resolve it?
And that is one of my biggest concerns, probably because I have lived in this community for quite a long time, and also as a school teacher, is a walkable community. I've thought about solving that problem, maybe looking at maybe having any new development or significant renovation, maybe increasing, or anybody that increases floor value over 50% maybe be required to construct some. We have a lot of, like, say if you're on Maple Street, you have partial sidewalk. I live on the last house on Maple Street before it turns to Slant Road. And you have one side of Slant Road that has a sidewalk, part of it doesn't. You have part of Maple Street that's gravel. You have, and I see these kids struggle to, what side of the street do I go on? What side of the street don't I go on? I do like the new crosswalk on Maple Street, yay. I love seeing these new crosswalks and these new places. Maybe we could see people required to have some payment as they build new, some funding as they build new homes into the sidewalk fee. Maybe have some sidewalk impact fee. The city, picking up some of the filling of the gaps in these residential areas. Maybe long-term people are maybe exempt from these sidewalk fees. we could collaborate on that as I become on the city council. I am concerned about the lack of sidewalks in our community. I echo what's been stated, as everybody said, a walkable community. That is a big concern of mine.
Okay, thank you. Any follow-up questions?
Yeah, I do. Hi, Jean Marie. Can you
Hi.
hear okay? Oh, good, good, good. As a mom of a child that attends your school, first, thank you for your role there, and you do bring a unique background. I would love to hear, in addition to your concerns about the walkability and sidewalks, which we share, certainly, what else? What else, based on your expertise and your perspective and relationships with both the kids and the other educators and administrators in the schools, what else are you seeing that we would be able to address to support future generations?
As a city,
Yeah.
oh,
Tough to differentiate with school district, but with
I
your
know,
role on
that's a
city
tough one. I'm
council.
trying to
yeah.
differentiate. Gosh, that's a tough one because the school district picks up a lot of the slack. There could be a lot of support in, volunteering is a big thing. I love the fact that our city has a youth committee. That is a big thing. I'd love to see more youth involved on a city level. I love seeing the youth. I'd love to see more elementary kids involved on a city level on a youth committee. That is a big deal. I would love to see more involvement, less screen time, more city volunteer involvement.
Great.
I am not a huge fan of the screen time. Yeah, too much screen time. I'd love to see the younger kids more involved on a city level of some city volunteering fun activities.
Great, thank you.
Hi, Jean Marie. This is Casey Beck.
Hi, Casey.
Hi, I was just going to ask you, so one thing interesting about the sidewalk issue is a lot of people feel strongly that we need more sidewalks, but there's also a large part of the population that feels that we don't want sidewalks. We want to keep it more country feel.
They want to keep the look.
Yeah, I don't know how you would respond to those people that don't feel we need more sidewalks.
Yeah, that's a tough one. My question to you is, are they the ones that don't have kids?
How their kids are raised.
Fair question.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not fair. I know. I grew up in a home with a dad who was a state senator, and we got phone calls like this a lot. My kids are raised, and I don't want to see a sidewalk, or I don't want to pay taxes. My kids are raised, I don't want to fund schools. But you know what? Your kids were once walking the streets. You have grandkids. I don't know. I'm a proponent of trying to talk to these people in a very diplomatic way and try to explain to them that we can maintain a look in some areas, and some areas, my proposal would be start closest to the schools, and farther away from the schools, keep the look.
Thank you.
That would be my proposal, because I think closest to the schools is where you do the sidewalks. Farther away from the schools, I think we have less of the traffic.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, any other follow-up questions? Okay, thank you, Jean Marie. We'll see you back when you come to your closing remarks.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Next up, we have Michael Mon. Come on up.
Well, I'm an unknown, I can tell you that, based on all the conversation that's going on here right now, but hopefully in a few minutes you'll get to know me a little bit better. Being in the military, you come into a place and you say, you got a 2-year assignment. That's what I'm applying for, a 2-year assignment. And the military guys have to be home run hitters in 2 years. I can provide you a couple home runs, so we'll talk about that. I'm an Air Force Academy graduate. I was a distinguished graduate. I was in the general officer track in my career. I was a space weenie. However, I built a lot of military equipment that saved lives throughout the world. And so I deal with problems really big and really dangerous. And I do it very successfully, as they did. They got mad at me when I said, my family is more important. I need to leave the service after 12 years. I was working for the Undersecretary of Air Force, and the one-star said, we have been training you for this, this, and this, and this. And I said, okay, I'll stay as a reservist for as long as you want. But my family's more important. And we raised 3 sons in Northern Virginia for 25 years, and they all came out to BYU and graduated from there. I have several you saw my resume, so I won't have to go through that, but also went to Defense Systems Management College and was a program manager level 3, which means I know everything about program management. And throughout the process, risk management is probably the most important thing. Strategic planning is another one, and I'll get to that when we want to talk about it. I'll get 30 seconds, great, super. My wife and I lived in Harvest Park for 3 years in a townhouse. We know what Harvest Park is like, and it's wonderful. Those are the type of communities we would like. My son, you worked with with the board to develop the Whiting property south of the junior high. That's where we live today. And I'm ready to help for 2 years and hit a home run for you.
Okay, thank you. What makes you unique to be on the council?
Well, first of all, this would be my 4th career job. I've retired from 3 jobs, and I'm unique because I don't have any competing interests here. I don't have a job to do. I do not have to worry about organizations or anything here. I'd be 100% to you other than my family and my church. I do church jobs, and I do a lot of family jobs. Second of all, I taught customer relationship management to the entire Northrop Grumman Corporation. I heard customer relationships talked about, but when you really look at it, there's 9 levels of customer relationship. Usually, most people only know 2 of them. I am also a risk manager. Okay, I saw your budget. Which one's your most risky item there? It's not indicated by your budget. Is the one area going to overrun by 10%, underrun by 5%? Risk management and opportunity management is very important to every budget. I force all my program managers to tell me what's the risk. I've always delivered on schedule, on cost. That's unusual in DoD world. That's why they made me the Director of Advanced Systems, that I'd start all the projects to get them started on the right foot so they knew they would not get into a situation. I had an organization walk in and say, we're going to build the first major secure data network for Homeland Security. They had this wonderful thing that Northrop Grumman was going to build. I walked in there and said, they won't buy that. It's going to be $25 million less, and you got to change your solution to meet that number. They did it, and they won, and they had a $1 billion follow-on because of that. I like to improve processes, and time's up, and we'll talk about that process in the future.
Next question is, what would be your top priority as a city council member?
I have a priority I'll talk about. It'll be in the next question, but I don't have an agenda here. I think I have a process that will identify areas that we need to. The obvious ones are public safety, maintain infrastructure, control and predictable growth should be done. The fiscal responsibilities, and as everyone says, low taxes, or where do we get our revenue to do what we want to do. I don't want commercial sprawling into my area, but I'd love to have a commercial zone in Mapleton. 89 seems like the appropriate place for that. And I'd like an assisted living facility for me near the Spanish Fork Temple. So I'd love to see another assisted living and independent living facility here in Mapleton.
Okay. identify one problem or issue that's important to you, and how would you solve that?
That's good. Now, I hope I got a couple of minutes back for this one, because this is very important.
This is a new 2 minutes.
I know. I taught my management teams that a problem needs to be solved now. So if you're not solving it, I know of none, but I have the same problem. Ever so often, these sidewalk ends, I don't understand. I walk about 3-4 miles 3 times a week, and the sidewalk stops ending all the time. An issue is something I have no control over. You have none. If you think you have issues, you don't have issues, because you have issues because you can't control it. What is important is concerns. Concerns are things that could go wrong if I don't do something about some issue. I can't solve the issue. I'll talk about that issue right now. We expect in Utah County, in the next 30 years, to double our population. The Mountain Land Association of Governments says that Mapleton's going to be at 20,000 people at 2050. How will Mapleton prepare to support 20,000 people? Where are they going to put them? Where are we going to put them? So I say that we need a strategic plan. Your general plan's fine, your budgets are fine. I really like them, okay? However, all these things we've talked about tonight is us looking to the next problem. Strategic planning is you take yourself out in 2050 and say, this is what I want. The Jetson space city, right? I want to go to 2050 and look backwards. And I believe a strategic plan, so it has to describe the city as the city of Mapleton in 2050. It must identify those requirements to support those people. It needs to document the objective infrastructure. It needs to identify the budget to support it. And this plan should list actions by year, but working backwards, 2050, 2029. I'll stop there. If there's follow-on questions, I can give you the answers there.
Yeah, any follow-up questions?
Yeah, I'll
You'll bite?
have a follow-up. Yeah, absolutely, because I like where you're going with this. Also, thank you. It's an Air Force kind of night. I'm into this, so thank you for your service as well. My father taught at the Air Force Academy, interestingly.
He taught there? He taught there?
Yeah, he taught there.
Awesome.
I love the principle of beginning with the end in mind. So the concept of the future state of Mapleton. Tell us a little bit more about what the future state of Mapleton looks like to you.
Well, let's if you walked to me today, well, I was a consultant for Northrop Grumman for 7 years. They dragged me in on all type of weird projects, say, tell us what to do. I love telling them they can't do it. That was the most fun. But I would tell them how to be successful, as I mentioned in the one. I think there's a lot of opinions. And if a lot of young people who's going to live that era will say, this is what I like Mapleton to be, and just define it. Just draw a picture of it. Just go like this. And then have them deal with the real numbers. 20,000 people. We're at, what, 11, 12 right now?
15.
Oh, we're that high? The data I have is out of date already.
Yeah, you're looking at 28,000.
Okay. Well, that's good.
Yeah.
So I think you need to look at that and then just look at the infrastructure. Once you define all that and actually do that engineering, I think you'll find out that this is where you need to do it. Let me give you one example. We were building 4 or 5 satellites. They were costing about $250 million a piece back a long time ago. And I walked in and said, if you'll let me spend $10 million today, I will save you $100 million 20 years from now. Because I looked at this and I said, this is what I need. But I worked my way back and I said, I need to spend $10 million now if this is going to be achievable. And they handed me $10 million. And then when we got there, we achieved that $100 million savings. But I don't know if I answered your question.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, it sounds like a power solution to me right there, but.
But risk is in there too, okay? And the biggest problem, if we have groups of us like this, year to year to year going forward, there's really we're doing the best we can each year, but we may be going to the wrong end point. And if we have the endpoint defining through each of the departments, and say, this is what you need to do here, 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 and let them do the solution for their line, then I think that's way more effective, we'll save money.
Thank you.
You mentioned infrastructure. In a two-year assignment, do you have thoughts on what infrastructure should be prioritized over other areas?
Yes, I have thoughts, but I think we need them all. I would go with the hardcore ones first, the water, the power, all those things. I do feel that the solution's always integrated, and you can't just choose one and say, I'm gonna solve this rock, because it's gonna mess other ones up. You move that rock and you haven't planned to move the other rocks, your dam just broke. So that's why I believe in integration, and you have to get the risk mitigation out of that thing. And to follow up, this becomes, in a way, the roadmap of each generation of councils. And it's okay to change that vision, but you have to do the full work and work it back. If 4 years from now you say, well, I don't like that description of Mapleton End State, well, good, go do the work again. Now if you selected me, I'd do that all for you. You don't have to pay consultants to do it. You'd get consultants to contribute, but most of it would be your line organizations right now would be the ones that they know everything. And I think that's where it'd be key. But anyway, that's what.
Thank you. Yeah.
Any other follow-up? Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Michael.
Next up is Ryan Griffith.
Hi, I'm also an unknown, so I figured I'd take the time to say hi to the public. My name is Ryan Griffith. I'm originally from Mesa, Arizona. Ended up here in Utah about 6 years ago. Have settled down here because of what we liked about Southern Utah County, and ultimately chose Mapleton. So I'm married to my wife of 5 years, and we've got 2 children with a third on the way. So a full house at home. Got a 3-year-old, an 18-month-old, and then one due hopefully later this summer. Aside from that, my professional endeavors, I work in merchant services. So I've worked with businesses, on Fortune 500 all the way down to local municipal governments and small businesses running out of their homes. And then outside of that, I also run an accounting firm where I'm managing partner, working with people filing taxes and consulting on small business endeavors. Outside of that, my family, we moved to Mapleton in 2024. So we've been here, probably the youngest out of anybody here in this room. But we specifically came to Mapleton for what we saw here, the community that was here. I see a future where my children are going to grow up. I see the things that other people that have gone before me are fortunate to have. The families that have grown up here, I want that same thing for my family. So prior to here, we were in Springville, so not very far away. But then even then came down to Mapleton. We moved into Mapleton Heights, so we're part of that southern growth area.
Okay, thanks, Ryan. What makes you uniquely qualified to be on the council?
Yeah, I think we've heard a lot about growth tonight from the council members and the applicants. I think I'm part of that growth. I am that growth. And I think part of my goal in being on city council and working with all of you here and working with the public is to see that growth not as a cancer, something that's metastasizing, but a valuable, necessary growth. I know there's a lot of people in this room that have children my age or older, and they want them to live here. They want them to live close. And I live in that community. I live in Mapleton Heights. I live next to the high-density housing in, Harmony Ridge, where 1,000 doors are going in, with condos and townhomes. And those people are my coworkers. They're people I went to school with. So I talk to them. I'm keenly aware of the issues that we're facing, maybe as almost like an outsider group. And we'd like a voice here on this council and with the larger public of Mapleton.
Great. And what would be your top priorities as a council member?
Yeah, I think number one is ensuring that public services continue to keep up with the growth in Mapleton. It's my understanding that, for example, emergency response times in the southern part of Mapleton are much higher than the national average. So one thing I'd be interested in is looking at expanding the fire and police presence down in the southern part of Mapleton. We, at least in my area, we saw a lot of property crime because we're right there on the 89 and close to the 6, especially around the holidays. So that, again, knowing my neighbors, talking with them, keenly important to us. And my second priority would be looking at creative revenue streams. I think it's no secret that Mapleton has one of the highest median incomes in Utah, but we can't just rely on property tax. But at the same time, I think there's a lot of people in Mapleton, we want to keep the country feel. We don't want to become a large commerce sector. So I'm interested in looking at publicizing some of the public utilities like water treatment, looking at electric, and then as well looking at potentially contracts. I have a good friend, he's the volunteer fire chief at Cedar Fort, where they struggle with getting public funding for the fire services there. And they look to county and state and federal contracts as a way to raise money and fund their emergency services growth. So I'd be interested in working with emergency services in Mapleton to see if that's a way we can, fund that growth, but not directly out of places where money is already allocated.
Okay. And identify one problem that is important to you, and what would you do to solve it?
Yeah, being part of the new growth and new development, I'm interested in working with developers. One of the issues that's affected my community is the water and the environmental impact in Mapleton Heights and Harmony Ridge and Mapleton Village. There's been a lot of issues with the developers and specifically water causing flooding. There was the scare of like a wetland issue. So I think working within the confines of the general plan and PDRs and working with developers to ensure that some of those public safety concerns and environmental impacts are looked at in a serious way and thorough enough that we're looking at, 2-year, 5-year, 10-year impact for these areas. Especially again, Harmony Ridge going up onto that bench and a lot of development in new areas, just making sure that everything downstream is going to be taken care of.
Okay. Any follow-up questions, Ryan?
I'm glad you didn't mention wind as the one problem, because we can't solve that in Maple Heights.
That's an
or-
issue.
Right.
Big issue. No, funny enough, when we came and toured our house all 5 times, we looked at our house, the wind didn't blow a single time. And then the first night we were sleeping there, we thought something was wrong, we thought our house was gonna fall down, and yeah, we've gotten to love it.
I was going to ask, as a newer resident to Mapleton, how can we improve on helping newer people that move into Mapleton feel a part of the community right away?
Somebody else mentioned the word integration. I think that feeling a way to reach out to that part of the community, like I know there's a big divide, there's an income gap, there's just a time gap for how long people have been here. So I think that people have noticed when it seems like the council is paying attention to that area. I know specifically, like all of my neighbors are excited about the park that's going in between Mapleton Heights and Mapleton Village. We're really excited about the bike park. We're really excited that the Mapleton Bike Trail has been extended. So I think Mapleton's done a fairly good job because the people that have moved there have seen, hey, the council notices they're allocating resources to me because ultimately I'm going to be the one that enjoys this. I think it'd be a lot different if those communities went in and it were 2, 3, 5 years and we still felt like we don't have these public services that the older, more established part of Mapleton has.
Thank you.
That was my question, based on observations, what else can we do better? You've already given us another example. I mean, you've given us several examples, so Casey stole my question, but I guess that buys you some time if you want to add more to it.
Sure. I had the benefit of going last. Maybe benefit and drawback, seems like I'm stealing other ideas, but living in Springville, we liked that we could walk everywhere. We walked a mile to Reams every day. That was our family activity. We got our groceries at the neighborhood grocery store. We would walk to the downtown events. And I understand that there's a mix of people that we want the country feel where maybe sidewalks aren't the most important to some people, but then there's some people that are wanting to come in and have a more walkable city. So I think it's important. I liked what Jean Marie said of starting at the schools and branching outward, because I think logistically that makes the most sense. And then maybe from there, if we ended up looking at a grocery store, another place that people would maybe walk to if they could, and if they had sidewalks, that'd be another place that the city could get involved. But again, on that note, not looking to become a Spanish Fork with a Costco and tons of restaurants, and we want to keep it limited and smart. But I think that sales tax revenue is definitely something that Mapleton could benefit from with like a small neighborhood feeling grocery store.
Thank you.
Okay, any others? All right, thanks, Ryan.
Thank you.
Appreciate your time. Okay, we will now let everyone have 1 to 2 minutes for final remarks. Melanie.
That came fast, probably not for all of you, but I'm grateful for this opportunity to be here, to be a part of this process. I'm thankful for the thoughtful questions, and as well as being able to have the privilege to be here with all these applicants and be able to see the passion that they have for their community. I'd just like to end with, I know we gave you our resumes, and that's just the highlights of what I've done in most recent. When I come into this position, I come in with with not only the knowledge and experience, but the connections and the resources that can help with this position. As city council members, we're all given different committees to be a part of, and I think what's unique about me is that I could jump into any spot because I've had those experiences and have relationships with the people outside of our community to help us thrive. It's really important that we come in as a council to guide responsibly, to listen to our community members, and make the best choices and decisions that will last for the future. Reassessing the general plan's written, but let's reassess that. Let's look at it again and see if it's the right future that we're looking for. So we don't want to be complacent and just say, oh, we're done. I want to be able to continue to work on that process. To be able to have a great community. I know we're talking in the chamber about the people that originally founded Mapleton. They're the heritage, they're the backbone of our community. Let's make them proud and also be able to have our children in our future be proud of the decisions that we have made. I'm grateful for this opportunity and for your consideration.
Thank you, Melanie. Kevin.
This week's been pretty hectic for me. First, I get a notice that I need to do a 2-minute presentation. A couple days later, 3 questions, and then a follow-up. So I'm scrambling, trying to do all of these things and trying to put all my thoughts in order and all the things I think we should talk about down to 2-minute chunks. I wasn't sure how this vacancy process was going to work. I didn't know if it was going to be a private interview, one-on-one. I didn't expect to have all of these people watch me put my foot in my mouth, but that's okay. The best part of my week has been teaching elementary PE, helping the kids learn about basketball and ball control, why it's important to control the ball, no matter the sport, as well as controlling things outside of sports. Their hands, their feet, their mouth, helping them understand that you need to control in order to win. They all just want to shoot hoops. I'm trying to get across that they need to control the ball and they need to look and see what's going on. Not just the ball, you have to have a bigger vision of what's going on. We need to control the ball. We need to keep an eye on it, but we also need to keep an eye on what's going on around us so that we don't lose what's going on here by focusing on that ball. So we need to keep our eye on that ball. I think we need to partner with our developers and small businesses so that we all share the same vision and we're all looking at the game together. I believe I can help us all do that. Thank you.
Thank you, Kevin. AJ.
Thanks again for the opportunity. This has been awesome. I think what I would take from this experience is, the more, in the last couple of years I've been diving into some of the issues that the city faces, they're not always simple solutions. A lot of times they're complicated, and you make one decision, and there's a myriad of, problems that happen afterward, or there's a lot of unintended consequences, right? And so what I would love about being a council member here in Mapleton, Utah, a city that I love, is the fact that we get to work together as a smart group of leaders and make the wisest decisions we can with input from the city. So I guess what I would say is the more I've learned about the challenges the city deals with, the more I have respect with what's been done thus far, and the more excited I would get with the bandwidth I have to help be part of that solution going forward. And I just want to point out this image on the wall here with George Washington and how he was wise and he took his stewardship very seriously, and I would do the same, always acknowledging a higher power that helps us all. So that's my closing comments. Thanks.
Thank you, AJ. Appreciate it. We'll go now to Jean Marie online.
So that's my closing comments. Thanks. Thank you, AJ. Go now to Jean Marie online. So that's my closing comments.
Okay, can you hear me?
We can hear you, yeah.
Okay. I feel that I am well prepared to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mayor?
I feel
that
I'm well prepared.
Hey, Jean Marie,
Okay. Yeah.
could you mute your YouTube sound?
Yes. Is that better?
That sounds much better. Thank you.
Okay. I feel like I'm well prepared through my experience as an educator to be a good collaborator and to help make decisions and wise decisions on a city council. And I feel like I would come to the council with a good rapport with the community of Mapleton. And good connections with the community of Mapleton, and a love for the people of Mapleton and the families. I have a strong love for Mapleton my whole life. And I feel like I would like to continue bringing that transparency that Mapleton has always had with the community, and to bring, I've watched the growth happen, and I want to continue combining the new with the old as people come in and make both feel comfortable with each other.
Great. Thank you, Jean Marie. Appreciate it.
Uh-huh.
Michael, come on up.
I admit, I came here because my family was here. And, but I plan to probably be buried in here in the Mapleston Cemetery anyway. I came here to feel the community as well. I loved it. I looked all over Utah County and said, it's the only place I'm going to live if I have to move here. Of course, I was coming from San Diego, so I want to make sure I had the best here. And I love pressurized irrigation. Don't ever stop that. I love the trails. I love being able to just feel safe. I'm away from the hustle and bustle of 15. You know, I-15 goes right through the center of San Diego. It's great. However, it's the people that's most important. And I'm going to tell you, this is something I do. I have tools in the trunk of my car. I see someone in need. I call my wife, say, I'll be an hour late. Whether it's hauling mulch, weeding gardens, cutting trees. I love doing that for people. And if I'm not selected with you, that's what I'll be doing, and genealogy. However, I think I bring something unique. What I proposed tonight was a totally different approach than what I heard tonight. What you heard tonight, you have to keep doing. But if you don't look for the future and work back, you're not going to get where you really want to be in 30 years. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Michael. Appreciate it. Ryan.
Thank you again. You know, I think my professional background, my educational experience with an MBA in finance and political science definitely equipped me to serve on the council, but more importantly, like I said, being a member of the up-and-coming generation, the new crowd in Mapleton, I think I'm uniquely positioned of these applicants to represent that crowd that specifically came to Mapleton with a vision, perhaps with a dream of raising their family, to pursue and achieve what I think all of you here have had, and to keep that going. You know, I'd like to borrow what Michael said. I too would like to be buried in the Mapleton Cemetery, to see Mapleton continue on that long, you know, through the rest of my life. But more importantly, again, being okay with being a junior council member, working on a 2-year assignment with each of you here, learning from each of you, learning what's worked. And aside from that, personally being okay with communicating with the community, knocking doors. I'm okay making phone calls and reaching out and going up to people I've never met before. I do that all the time. I think my neighbors would probably say they're probably tired of it. But getting their ideas, talking to people in different communities, it's what I do all day at work, and it's what I would do here as a council member to make sure that everybody's represented and feels like their voice is represented through me on the council. So I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks, Ryan. Okay, so next, what we will do is just move right into the vote. But I want to thank each one of you guys for applying and for coming tonight and standing up in front of all of us and giving us your perspectives and your thoughts. I think I could speak for the council. I wish we could add 6 members to the council member and bring all of you on. I think each one of you brings a unique personality and experience. And each one of you are impressive to me. And I'm glad that you're Mapleton residents, for one, and I'm glad that this is going to be a tough choice. So the next step is to vote. Each of the 4 council members will have a vote ballot, and they will write down one name, and that will be the first round of voting. If there are 3 council members who vote for the same person, then that will be the end of the voting, and that person will be seated as a city council member. So without further ado, unless there are council members who want any more deliberation or questions or anything, we will have a moment of silence for the vote. Any questions?
Moment of silence. Moment of privilege. I want to echo your sentiments here. It has just been a real privilege, and I know Jean Marie's online, but what a great opportunity to get to know some of our citizens better, and some of those that I already knew even more so. But just thank you. There's a lot of moments we've had that have been very hard recently, not just us, but I mean globally. There's a lot of hard things, and thank you for coming here with optimism, a willingness to serve. It has renewed my spirit and my faith in a lot of why I'm here and why I chose to do what I do. And I absolutely agree. Yes, we have one person to choose, but I hope, as I've heard from each of you, and incredible, unique skill sets and ideas, and just really powerful experience for me tonight. And before, as we got prepared, you can darn well bet I have your names associated with committees already. Like, please, while we only get to select one for this spot, we need each of you. You each can bring something to the table that will better the community. And so please, if you're not the name that happens to be seated for this one role, there's a place for you. And so I encourage you each to come back and be part of the team in some way. Absolutely, we can use each of you, and Jean Marie online for sure. So just thank you for many reasons. Thank you.
I just wanted to add, I don't remember a harder decision being on council than this, for me, actually. I'm just so impressed with all of you and how prepared you are and your insights. And so I just wish you could all just be one person, and then we can make it very easy. But just, again, thanks for being prepared, and thanks for being active and participating in Mapleton, in our community.
Camille, you going to collect the votes? We need a drum roll, I think.
I'm shaking. Okay. One vote, Melanie Bott. Melanie Bott. Melanie Bott. Melanie Bott.
That's all we need. That's unanimous. Good job. Okay, so what happens next is we're going to go ahead and seat you right now and deliver the oath of office. So I hope you're ready.
Unless you want to bail. I mean,
Last chance.
your prize is more work and some lifesavers, so.
While they're doing that, thank you all, the rest of you, for joining us and for your time and for applying again. You're welcome to join us for the rest of the meeting and see how the rest of this goes, so.
Sorry. I, Melanie Bott,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support, obey, and defend
that I will support, obey, and defend
the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Utah,
the Constitution of the State of Utah,
and the laws and ordinances of
And the-
Mapleton City,
and the laws and ordinances of Mapleton City,
and that I will discharge the duties
and I will discharge the duties
of my office
of my office
with
with
fidelity.
fidelity. Thank you. It's gotta be her mom in the purple shirt. She's like her.
Right up here, Melanie.
Yeah, now you don't have all the stuff.
Okay, thank you. Moving on with our agenda, this takes us to the public forum version of our meeting. Just a little bit of background for those of you who don't know what the public forum is. I'll just read a little brief description of what that is. Members of the audience or residents of the city may bring to the attention to the mayor and the council any item that is not on the agenda. Speakers are generally given 2 to 3 minutes at the discretion of the mayor to address the council. State law prohibits council from acting on items that do not appear on the agenda, so just remember that. Scott, you're the only one that signed up for the public forum today, so the floor is now yours.
Okay. And as I said earlier, this is about what you already did, so, oh well. Mapleton has a new mayor. Theron Garrett was elected with over 60% of the votes cast. His only supporter among the 4 finalists for city council also far outdistanced all the other candidates for council and beat his nearest rival by 7%, or nearly 700 votes. Now the council is tasked, or was tasked, with choosing a replacement for Theron's seat on the council. The Utah statute which governs the council's selection requires a public announcement that vacancy does or will exist, followed by an application and interview process and a pair of votes by the existing council to make the final choice. I understand that the council may want to take that choice this evening, or make that choice this evening. I've also heard, I don't know how accurately, that some members of the council may be inclined to make the choice simply by choosing the applicant who got the highest number of votes in the election held 2 months ago. I have 2 concerns about what I've heard. First, I believe that with 6 candidates asking for the opportunity to serve, and I hear one of the original 7 is withdrawn, The council may not have had sufficient time to vet these candidates properly and thoroughly. One of them will be one of only 5 people making all of the most important decisions for our city over the next 2 years. You, as a council, owe a fiduciary duty to the citizens of Mapleton and indeed to yourselves to follow the letter and the spirit of the statute governing your power to fill this vacancy. You must find the most appropriate, best qualified candidate to work with you for the next 2 years. Devoting an extra couple of weeks to making sure we find the best candidate would seem to me to be a wise use of time and effort. Secondly, I believe the council should take account of the results of the recent election, but not in the way I've heard that they might. Since the people of Mapleton have spoken decisively in favor of our new mayor and his sole supporter among the council candidates and continuing incumbents, it would be appropriate for the council to choose as its new additional member an otherwise qualified person who is supportive of our new mayor and genuinely willing to work with him to accomplish the purposes for which he was elected. To choose an applicant who is generally unsympathetic to our new mayor's program would be ungenerous and undemocratic in view of the decisive outcome of the recent election. The highest tradition of American government urges us to accept the outcomes of elections and come together to support the winners for the common good. I hope and expect the council will consider carefully its duties and discharge them faithful in the interest of our beautiful city. Now, I want to congratulate all the new members of the council, or both of the new members of the council, the new mayor, and our re-elected member, and our 2 women here on the end who continue to serve. And thank you. I have to say that I thought I was very enthusiastic with what Jessica said at the very end, that we really had a bunch of really superbly qualified people. And it would be a tragedy for our town for these people not to continue to be a part of the process and help build the community that we all want to have in the future. I hope we've made the right decision. I believe we may have, but I have to say that I think a little bit more deliberation would have been appropriate. Thanks.
Thank you, Scott. I'll just say this. I understand your concerns. I believe, from my perspective and what has happened in the past few weeks, that we as a council and myself have done a thorough job in vetting these 7 and ultimately 6 applicants. I am pleased with Melanie being voted on, and I believe that we will be a great team and we will work great together, and that's my honest belief. So,
Mayor, I didn't sign up for public comment, may I?
we'll give you a few minutes. Come on up. You'll have to state your name and.
My name is Brian Miller. I'm a stone's throw away. I live in Whiting Farms. And I know some of you, and I look forward. I got an email from Logan recently, and I've met with Corey and look forward to serving on the RAP Tax Committee and serving Mapleton that way. But I came here, I had a little bit of PTSD tonight because prior to moving to Mapleton, I served on City Council in Cedar Hills and was appointed among 11 candidates. And so I was feeling the nerves. And so I've been through it, and I was feeling the difficulty of the council decision as well. And I remember just.
I have a quick question for
Yes.
you. Would you rather go through a campaign or would you rather be appointed?
Well, I'm not really sure. I mean, it's a condensed campaign, and so, I mean, just time-wise, I think I'd rather go through that and just kind of know what the outcome's going to be. But anyway, and so I went through that. But the reason why I came here tonight, not only was my interest in learning the candidates and supporting and seeing, but also I work for the Utah County Attorney's Office, and I am the liaison for the Mapleton Police Department for the County Attorney's Office. And so I did want to, first of all, thank Chief Jackson for the wonderful job that he's done serving our community, and welcome incoming Chief Hooley. It really As a prosecutor, I know this county and I know what happens here, and Mapleton is the place that I want to live, and I want to, and I want my children to grow up here. And it's a wonderful community, in large part because of the residents, but also our law enforcement. And so I look forward to, I got reassigned this past year, look forward to working closely with the chief, setting up some trainings, always being on call for our officers, review warrants, answer questions and stuff. But, so I'm kind of here in a semi-professional capacity, but also as a resident who is always welcome to serve. And I'm already on a committee. I'll want to be on more committees, but I plant my roots deep in my community. And so thank you all for your service. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Okay, that is the end of our public forum. Our next agenda item is the consent agenda. The consent agenda consists of items on the agenda that are routine in nature and do not require discussion or independent action. Members of the council may ask to remove any of the items from the consent agenda to be considered individually. Unless that is done, one motion may be used to adopt all recommended actions. And with that, I will welcome a motion for the two items on the consent agenda as listed.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
We have a motion by Councilmember Egbert and a second by Councilmember Jones.
Egbert, yes.
Bott, yes.
Lake, yes.
Beck, yes.
Jones, yes.
Okay, unanimous, thank you. Our next agenda item is a couple of public hearing items. And first one is a consideration of an ordinance amending Mapleton City Code, Chapter 2.26, Police Department. And are you going to take this, Corey? Okay.
Yeah, Mayor and members of council, the purpose of this amendment is to provide some clarification of who the police chief reports to in absence of a director of public safety, as well as how far a police chief can reside from Mapleton city limits. As you can see from the staff report, the proposals would be that the police chief would report to the city administrator in the absence of a public safety director, and that the distance would be to reside within 15 miles of the city limits. Any questions for me? Okay, keep in mind this is a public hearing item, so.
Okay, if there's no questions, we'll open it up to public hearing. Any comments or questions? Come on up to the mic and state your name. Okay, seeing as there's no public comment, we'll close the public hearing session and open to discussion or questions from the council.
I don't have any questions or comments. I'll make a motion to adopt the consideration of or adopt the ordinance amending Mapleton City Code, Chapter 2.26, Police Department.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Councilmember Beck and a second by Councilmember Egbert. Roll call with Melanie.
Bott, yes.
Lake, yes.
Beck, yes.
Jones, yes.
Egbert, yes.
Okay, it's unanimous. The next public hearing item is very similar. Consideration of an ordinance amending Mapleton City Code, Chapter 2.32, the Fire Department. Corey.
Yep, Mayor, you hit on that. It's just a different chapter, and this one relates then to the fire chief, and the same topic, that the clarification would be that the fire chief, in the absence of a public safety director, would report to the city administrator, and we'll also have that same requirement as far as being residing within 15 miles of city limits. So that's all I had.
Okay, this is also a public hearing item, so we'll open it to public hearing, public comment. Okay, seeing none, we'll close public hearing and open it up to deliberations or a motion.
I'll make the motion on this. I make a motion that we amend the city ordinance for Mapleton City Code 2.32 Fire Department.
Second.
Lake, yes.
We have a motion by Councilmember Lake and a second by Councilmember Beck. Roll call, Jake.
Lake, yes.
Beck, yes.
Jones, yes.
Egbert, yes.
Bot, yes.
Okay, that one is unanimous as well. Our next section is action item. This action item is a consideration of resolution for appointing of Clay Hooley as the Mapleton City Chief of Police. And we'll turn the time over to Chief Jackson.
Thank you, Mayor, members of the council. First off, congratulations, council members Lake and Bott. I've worked on committees with both of these guys. Super excited to see you up there. This is going to be awesome. So congratulations and lots of fun work ahead. So I'm proud of you. As you know, it's no secret, back in November, I announced my retirement. Since that time, the city has opened an application period for my replacement. When that application period was open, we received applications from both internal and external candidates, and it was pretty neat to see the quality of candidates that we got from both internal and external. Great quality people with good reputations around the county, so that was neat to see. City Manager Corey Branch, Mayor Garrett, and Councilmember Egbert conducted some interviews of the candidates and narrowed it down to 3, and then did some more interviews and narrowed it down to 1. It was pretty neat to see the people that applied and came in. It was a lot like tonight, just good quality people in there, and I was pretty excited to see the quality of people that applied for that job. Ultimately, the selection was made, which is Clay Hooley, who's seated here tonight. Clay began his career in Salt Lake County and then went to the Spanish Fork Police Department. At Spanish Fork, he's been both a patrol officer and a detective, and he's later supervised in both of those departments. He brings a wealth of experience, and I've watched from afar as he's worked down there as he's supervised the most heinous crimes that can be imagined. So he's bringing that experience up here to us. Clay is known in Spanish Fork for his leadership, his friendly demeanor. He has no ego, and he's made it clear over the last month that he has a vision for the police department, which I'm excited about. He's going to take this place to another level. So I couldn't be more excited to introduce Clay Hooley, and I recommend that he be appointed as the next police chief for Mapleton City.
Thank you, Chief. Okay, it's an action item, so we'll open it up to a motion.
Do we want to invite soon-to-be Chief Hooley up here to say anything or introduce himself if there's anyone who has not had the opportunity?
I walked right past him. I didn't know who he was, so. yeah.
You're gonna get to know.
Absolutely. Come on up, Clay. Chief Hooley.
I'm Clay Hooley. I'm born and raised down in Pleasant Grove, Utah. And then when my wife and I got married, we decided to move to the south end of the county and raise our family down here. It's been my absolute privilege and honor to work in the law enforcement community. I love every bit of it. Every day brings a new challenge. And I've been very blessed in the opportunities that I've had to serve as a law enforcement officer. I've scratched nearly every service that, Spanish Fork's offered or Salt Lake County, and all of that has been accumulation of what I am today as far as a potential police chief. The reason that brought me to Mapleton specifically to apply for this job and to serve in this capacity is I live right by Maple Mountain High School. And so, as such, my kids have been pulled into Mapleton schools and the Mapleton community. And this has been the most, I used to think that Pleasant Grove was like the most important community to me in my life, but I now realize that the village and the community that's raising my family, my children, is simply the most important. So I was excited for the opportunity to compile what I have and to apply for the job and try to bring my skills or my knowledge or whatever I have to this community, for my family, for my children, and for the betterment of everyone. So I'm really excited, and anytime like there's a little bit of doubt or something that creeps in, I'm committed to jumping 2 feet in, full of excitement, doing the best I can, and hopefully the vision can come together and we can build upon the success of Chief Jackson and be really additive to make public safety top notch. So I'm very excited. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chief.
I got
one more?
Well, do your action item, and then I have a little housekeeping on his swearing in.
Yes, okay, that sounds good. I was going to announce that as well, so.
Having been through this process and as the liaison to public safety on the council, I was very supportive of moving forward this motion since the council has to move it in. So I think I'd be glad to officially make the motion, although I feel like we should also pull out some Kleenex, and I'm not going there yet.
Not me, I'm good. I'm not good. I'm not balling.
Wait till next time. So I'm going to make the motion to appoint Clay Hooley as the Mapleton City Chief of Police.
A second.
Okay, we have a motion by Councilmember Egbert and a second by Councilmember Bott. Roll call.
Beck, yes.
Jones, yes.
Egbert, yes.
Bott, yes.
Lake, yes.
Thank you. Can I address the swearing in? Is that okay with
Yeah,
you, Mayor?
go for it.
That was on the agenda for tonight. We wanted our new council member seated for that. I anticipate when that happens, he's going to have a lot of support here from both Mapleton and Spanish Fork and his family, and we didn't want them to, we didn't know exactly what time that would take place. The selfish part, the downside for this is that I want to tell you guys is we are going to swear him in 2 weeks, the next council meeting. The bad thing for me is my daughter's being sworn in for the Navy that night, so I've already apologized to him, I'm going to apologize to him again, but I won't be here that night. But I want Clay to know publicly how much I appreciate him, how much I support him, and I hope that night and down the road, he'll know I'm standing right by his side as he goes through this. He's going to be fantastic. So that will happen in 2 weeks at our next council meeting, so, okay, thank you.
Will we see the first council meeting in February then?
No, the next one in
No,
January.
But when are you going to be around?
This is my last council
That would
meeting.
be it.
Yep, this is it. So,
He just doesn't wanna-
unless
doesn't wanna
unless
cry
I'm
on
on
the
the
record
public
again.
forum, and you never know, never know. So, no.
We'll see a whole new side of Chief Jackson.
No. I've said it, I'll say it 100 million times. I've loved working for Mapleton. You're not going to hear a bad word out of my mouth. I appreciate you guys and the support you've given us every step of the way. I love Pioneer Day. I love our Community Preparedness Committee. I love every opportunity I've had to work with you guys. Corey, Sean, all of you. It's just been fantastic. So thank you. I really do appreciate it. But yes, this is my last council meeting, so.
I'm going to go ahead and interfere with that because I would like to make a recommendation that on behalf of the staff, council, mayor, and Chief Hooley, that we do a formal recognition in February when you're able to attend.
I think I have some free time.
Second.
Because we veto the,
Yep.
we veto that this is your last.
We do have a retirement party coming up for him, and we'll send you the,
February 29th.
Yeah, thank you for doing that. It's very kind. The newsletter article, all that, everybody's been so kind, so thank you. So it's not sad. I'm happy. No tears here. They've been teasing me about how much I cry, so that's. Thank you. And thank all of you guys.
Chief, thank you. Big changes and sad changes. I've had an opportunity to work right alongside Chief in the Public Safety Department for 10 years, and Clay, you've got a big hole to fill. We're going to miss it. Yeah, I very much support that. I think we should have one more city council meeting where you're required to be here, so. Yeah, yes.
Put them on the agenda first.
Yeah, we'll put you on the #1 agenda, I like that.
Thank you, that's very
Okay,
nice.
thank you. Yes, and we'll look forward to your swearing in 2 weeks, Chief Hooley. Okay, administrative reports. Who wants to start? Let's start with Logan.
Well, first and foremost, congratulations. Look forward to working with each of you and continuing on the great things that we have going on here. Just a couple quick updates. We've had some talks about the bike park. Just a little bit of update where we're at with that. We anticipate going out to bid end of January to the 1st of February. We're right on progress of where we want it to be as far as trying to capitalize on some of those timelines for contractors and weather. We have a bunch of grants that will be opening up on next Monday through the Utah Outdoor Recreation that we will apply for. And then we're currently in the process of putting together a couple packages for contractors, businesses, homeowners, residents, whoever, that would potentially be able to donate and be part of kind of a legacy generational project that we have with the bike park. So are there any questions on that? After we finalize design and go out to bid, we anticipate that will be a month bid. As we've met as our design team, we feel like there's a lot of nuances to this that we want to make sure we leave adequate time to answer questions. We feel that'll help make sure we get the best price so that contractors have an opportunity to really flesh out some of those specialty items and making sure that we're getting the best price. So are there any questions, anything else on the bike park specifically?
How much of the, I guess, of the process are we bidding out? How much for this?
100% of it is
100%.
the goal.
The single,
Yep.
the single phase, all
Yep.
in one.
Yep, that's the goal.
Last time you were here, we saw a 30% design. Where are you guys at right now? As far as
We're like right in between 60 and 90. So we had our design review this morning. We're in the process of what's called yellow lining and red lining. So we're really just kind of working out all the little details, making sure that the cross sections are matching on each set of the plans. But as far as like infrastructure of the park, it's all pretty much where it's going to be. So it's really just making sure our plans are thoroughly went through, our bid docs are ready, and so. If you'd like to see an updated rendering, there's not really much that's prettier than what it was, but I'm happy to share if anybody wants to see a full set of those plans, I'd be happy to share them over.
Yeah, I think it'd be great if you could send something out to all of us.
Awesome, yeah, I'll get that sent over. The next one is we've got our Burn Bright event coming up next, actually I should say our award-winning Burn Bright. We did receive the award for the event of the year last year at URPA, so we're excited to build upon that. So it'll be next Friday, the 16th, from 5 to 7, and we'd love to see everybody there. The fire will be lit at 6, but there'll be food trucks and activities prior to that, so we encourage everybody to show up before that, and then we'll light the fire around 6 o'clock. And then the last one, you can see this picture up here. We had the opportunity, and I wanted to give a big shout out to Kyle, who's our recreation manager. As you all have known, he's been an advocate and a voice for hockey coming to Mapleton. And it was pretty awesome over the break. We had the opportunity to go up, and he was recognized at a Mammoth game on the 29th of December.
Oh, that's cool.
And as you can see by these, the notes that I put in there, we were the first city in the state to host the Hockey League. We are now the largest. This morning we went over 300, which was our goal for this year. And I want to give all credit to Kyle. He's done a great job of imagining what this could be. And one of the things that, as we've looked at this program comparative to other programs, is we've actually run roster reports to our other programs, and these are kids that have not signed up in some of our sports. I don't have the exact percentage off the top of my head, but it is astonishing how many of these kids haven't participated in other programs, but yet found that this new street hockey was for them, and I think that's awesome. And the opportunity that we've had to go in and teach in the schools, again, is a credit to Kyle and his innovative way of saying, we need to get to our residents, we need to get to our kids. And so over the course of the year, us as staff have the opportunity to go in there and teach PE classes. So I echo what you say, they don't listen, but man, we have a lot of fun. And so it's great that we were able to introduce such a fun sport. But I just wanted to give Kyle a big shout out, and we look forward. We're finishing up our front half of hockey right now, and then we'll start our youngers after we get done with basketball.
How old do you go with the hockey?
9th grade. This is our first year doing 9th.
Because you were
7th
in
through
the
9th.
junior high last week, I believe.
We're, Hobble Creek Elementary is where we play it.
Okay, but okay, I heard about some street hockey at the junior high PE class.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, maybe
That
they're
wasn't you.
taking it into them.
Maybe so.
Yeah, I love it. We'll take it.
Having a kid that doesn't sign up for most rec programs, he signed up for street hockey, and it's been so much fun to watch him play. What helped is have the free Mammoth tickets as well. So
Yeah, sure, for
thanks
sure.
for that.
Yeah, we obviously are super grateful for the partnership with the Mammoth. They've been awesome. One thing with having somebody that's so passionate and willing is he's created a great partnership with the Mammoth, and so the tickets, the jerseys, all of those things, I mean, we ask and it comes. So it's just a testament of good collaboration with those folks, and so, yeah, we look forward to it.
You got a great team.
Yeah, we've got a great team. So I have way too many other things that opened up on January 1st, but I'd just say a big shout out to our team. We've got a lot of things going on, and we're grateful for the opportunity to serve the city. So,
Great.
thank you.
Thanks, Logan. Bryce?
Just want to welcome Jake and Melanie to council. We'll have some training items coming to you. If you have any questions with those, feel free to reach out. And then please come by sometime when you get settled down, and we'll go through the budget and get a little more detail to you and help you with any budget questions you've got. Thanks.
Thanks, Bryce.
Sorry, you have to sit through that budget meeting. But good luck with that. Two quick things. In the holidays and the madness, I didn't put out anything official to you guys. I probably should have, but Moises Fernandez, one of our officers, has resigned, and he's going to Spanish Fork. We have an open position right now, and so we're collecting applications on that. It closes next week. And then the second thing is Chief Hooley and I will be meeting with Representative White. We have a breakfast appointment with him next Monday morning as the session gets started, so we'll keep you updated on any session topics that are law enforcement related. So thanks.
Thanks, Chief. John, you got the uniform almost close. Okay, Destiny, anything? Rob?
I just want to make sure that you guys know that I'm always open to questions. There's obviously a lot of stuff going on in Public Works, and it doesn't make sense, I guess, every council meeting to go into everything that we're doing all the time, or else I'd be taking up all the time. But there's two things that I just wanted to make sure that the council was aware of, because both of them, at least one will be coming up next council meeting, and both of them maybe. We've got the Transportation Master Plan done. We've been working on it for about a year. We've done a couple of updates to the City Council. I went through Planning Commission in December with recommended approval. We're doing the public notices so that we can bring it to you next week. It is up on our Public Works website that everybody can access, but we'll send an email. Now that we know who all is on the council, we'll send an email directly to you so that you can review it over the next couple of weeks. And like I said, if you have any questions, just email me, call me, whatever you need to do, and then we'll come and present and hopefully have the adopted Transportation Master Plan in 2 weeks. And then we're also updating our design standards. We had created it for those who were on the council 2 years ago, or about two and a half years ago. That's when we adopted the first iteration, the iteration that's in place of the Public Works design standards. There's some updates that we need to make to it, and I'm waiting on some feedback on proposed cross-sections for on UDOT roadways that we'd like to have in our system that we can give to developers. They always got to go to UDOT when they're doing something on UDOT roadways, but at least an idea of what they're going to be looking at, needing to build or dedicate along the UDOT streets. And once we have that feedback, I'll bring it. Hopefully, we'll have that done in 2 weeks. It may be sometime in February where we bring that back to you.
Anything new on the 8th North Light?
They're still waiting on the Bureau of Reclamation signature so they can bring the fiber across.
Spring.
Fortunately, we've had ones that take a few weeks, and we've had ones that take several months, and there's not necessarily a rhyme or reason to which one you get.
Okay. Want me to go?
You're up.
All righty. Apparently, we need some restructuring with the Community Preparedness Committee suddenly, so thanks, Melanie. We need a new chair, anybody? Just saying. Community preparedness, I hear Air Force vets are good for that. Legislative session's coming up, January 20th through March 6th, so a couple things there. With the league, January 21st is the local officials down the hill. Camille will help register if there's anybody who wants to go do that. We only have to be there like at 10. The youth city council goes up earlier and does other things. Then we go at 10 and we have some sessions, and there's a lunch with a bunch of speakers, educational content. I talked to Jake about it. There's some great elected official essentials training through the league. Like they have a budget one, I think, tomorrow. So that'll be a good one to connect them with. I'm sure you'll talk to them about. A couple of the legislative topics that I'm watching, some are carryovers, and I'm sure there'll be new ones pop up. We know there were over 300 bills from this last session that affected cities out of over 1,000 bills they were considering. So there's a lot to pay attention to. Couple of interesting ones. Property tax, I think, is particularly interesting for us because so much of our funding comes solely from property tax. And then truth in taxation. So there's proposals on the table to say, hey, if a city is going to do truth in taxation, maybe what they have to do is present two completely different budgets, one that's with it and one that's without, so people can see it to vote on different ways. There's different levels of effort that'll take. There's a constitutional amendment or modification on the table, at least there was a week or so ago. about reducing the taxable value of homes from 55% to a smaller percentage, but somehow it would keep taxing entities neutral on what you get. I don't know how the math magically works on that, so we'll see where that's settled. Land Use Task Force, there's conversation between Property Rights Coalition and the League of Cities and Towns, particularly about cities that reject good faith professional reports, and the Property Rights Coalition wanting a standardized process to remove planning commissioners who advocate against a project publicly, so that should be interesting. And then, but the league is working, there's a lot of middle ground to meet with. Cities should be able to cite why they would reject a professional report. And so there's some things that, yeah, okay, well, of course we can require that. Or is there a space to require an informal meeting between engineering staff and developers before a report's developed? So there's a few processes going back and forth there. As you can imagine, there's usually this extremes, and then there's almost always a good meeting in the middle. DADUs, which is the detached accessory dwelling units, are back this year about who has to require them. Is it by city, or who will be required to have them, cities versus county side? They have to be MIHP city, moderate income housing plan cities, which we comply with, or is it counties the first or second class? Are they going to mandate certain parking requirements, or do cities have the authority to do that? Are they going to prohibit in front yards, or do cities get to govern that? Are they going to allow by statute on side yards, or do cities get to govern that? How do setbacks come into play? The state is talking about that. And then also the ability to convert an existing structure to a DADU. So I think where we've dealt with internal accessory units heaviest, this is going to be the season of DADU. And then as a follow-up, I know Mayor Garrett was involved with the issue related to Governmental Immunity Act. So as of the December board meeting, the league has signed on to a second case as an amicus brief to that case, where there's the lawsuits on the Petito versus Moab City, and then Maine versus Salt Lake City Police Departments. And this is the specific issue that we talked about 2 council meetings ago about wrongful death. When you have emergency personnel come and try to take care of someone and that person dies, is it truly an emergency or not? And are they held immune? And there is a huge issue to both the individual and the city if governmental immunity is not withheld. And there are cases that suggest that emergency personnel are not immune in these situations, hence why the league itself has signed on to both of these cases at the request of the city. So this one is actually a pretty serious one for all cities to watch. I'm hopeful that this is going to be overturned in the way we want, but there's going to be more. Those are just a couple of items that I think are impactful, so stay tuned.
Okay, that's everything? All right. Melanie, you got anything?
I would just like to say a few things of gratitude. Thank you so much for your trust in me and all those that have been here and those who have voted before. I'm excited to be able to work with all of you and get to know the processes more. I love to serve. It's a great passion of mine, so being able to be here and be a part of that process, I'm excited to get to work, and I take it very serious. It's a huge responsibility, and we have a lot on our shoulders, and I appreciate everything that you've all have done this far, and you continue to do, so appreciate it.
Thank you.
Jake?
Same, nothing to report, but I am grateful for the opportunity to serve and continue to serve. Grateful to work with everybody. I think we have a great city staff and great council. Looking forward to working with Chief Hooley. Like I said, you got to take dance lessons from Chief Jackson before you leave. There's some requirements at Pioneer Days that Logan will fill you in on the dance requirements. But thank you.
Thanks, Jake. I'll just take a quick minute. I just want to appreciate all the support that I've felt over the last few months. Right after the election, we got really busy already meeting with Corey. Corey's probably sick and tired of seeing my face as many hours as we've sat in the last 3 months. honored and privileged to have been able to go through the interview process to hire this new police chief. We have so many great people in this ward, or this, not ward, in this city and in our police department, such great people. And it was really an honor to be able to sit through all those interviews and get everybody's perspectives. And we definitely chose the right guy. I'm super excited for Chief Hooley and our future with him. I've been working pretty diligently on council liaison assignments. I've felt for a while that I'd like to make a little bit of a change there, and so I've just kind of been waiting for to know who our new council member was going to be before I finalize those. But I think I'm close enough that I could probably look for a proposal on those as early as tomorrow. So that's all I have.
Just want to congratulate Jake, Melanie, and Theron and Clay. Just, it's a big meeting for congratulations and thanking people. So again, thank you all, and I look forward to working with you all. For NYCC, they just accepted all the new members for this upcoming year. Tomorrow they're having their end of the year banquet. They're excited about going to the local officials day.
How many are we taking this year?
I think it's 8. I think it's the executive committee.
How many are on the?
There's 72.
Holy cow. Those of you who don't know how this works. So the Youth City Council, most cities have one, and most of the cities I talked to, they have 8 to 15. We had 40-something, and when I talked to all the cities I worked with last year, we had 44 or something like that. They were like, oh my gosh, how do you get that much? Did you say 72?
72.
We have the best youth in Mapleton and the best leaders for this. That's so awesome.
Yeah. Theron and I met with the advisors last night, and they're just really excited about this year. They have a lot of great ideas. They're going to invite the liaison and Mayor Garrett to the orientation meeting end of January. One thing that they're really wanting to do is to kind of get a list of probably 10 topics or so of issues that we're kind of thinking about a lot and working on a lot, and have a council member each month go to their advisor or go to their meeting and just talk for a few minutes on an issue. And the students are going to, or the members, the kids are going to, they're going to pepper you with questions. And so something for us to just be aware of, that we'll be invited to some of the meetings this year. I think that's it for NYCC.
Leslie.
I have no report.
Okay. Camille?
Just local officials day. If I've had a lot of you reach out, and if any of you want to come, it's the 21st of January. So just let me know and I'll get you registered. That's it.
John?
2 quick ones. One, I think Rich is not here anymore, but if you see Rich Lewis, please tell him thank you for his service. His time is completed on the Planning Commission. He's served 2 6-year terms, so he's served for 12 years. He took like 1 or 2 years off in between. So a ton of service, and obviously we're losing Melanie now, which is hard, so thank you for your service. If you look at we actually have 4 of you have served on the Planning Commission, so it's a great opportunity to serve, and we're really thankful for Rich. So if you see him, thank him. The other item I left you, there's a copy of a permit summary for our permit activity last year at your desk. I can email this out to you as well. Pretty staggering. We did almost 700 permits for new homes. Obviously, the majority of that, if you look at the charts, 50% of that is in Harmony Ridge. So I think what you'll see is we'll probably see similar numbers to that for the next year or two, and they're building so quickly that they're, once that project is off, we'll come back down to a little more normal range. But also, if you see any of the building official or building inspectors, give them a hug as well. They're 8 o'clock in the morning till 5:30 at night. They're out inspecting. I mean, just the amount of work they're doing is pretty tremendous. So that's it. That's all I got.
Great. Thank you, Sean. Corey?
A couple of days ago, Camille sent out an email to you to look at your schedules. We can come up with some future dates for our retreat/work sessions. Councilmember Bott, I'll get that over to you tomorrow so you can look at that as well. So I've already received from a few of you some topics that you'd like to discuss. So if you'll get those to me by tomorrow, and then we'll compile everything and sit down with Mayor Garrett, and then get back with you with with those dates and times and what the topics will be. And on behalf of the staff, we're just excited to work with each of you, and always feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions or topics. So thanks for being here this evening, and here we go, 2026, so.
Serious. Okay, anything else from anybody? Okay, that is the end of our meeting. I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
We have a motion by Councilmember Jones,
Second.
second by Councilmember Beck. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, everyone.